You've got some very good news.
Absolutely. I just completed my second wholesale deal, and
Fantastic.
and it's very, very similar to the first wholesale deal. Um, I don't know if you remember the first wholesale deal. Remember, I told you that the lady hadn't lived in the house in about 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, these sellers haven't been in the house for 18 years.
They're catching up.
Yeah, so I think what it is, um, I have a niche now. I
Yeah.
have to have a property that's been vacant for a long time.
Roughly 2 decades.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay. So it was literally vacant for that long. It was, I mean, the owners didn't live there, but nobody else did either.
Nobody lived there. They actually kept the house and they used it for a financial tool, which was great
Okay.
because they sent two sons through Ivy League college,
Okay.
by refinancing and paying cash.
Okay.
So they were able to do that. And they also used the house to get into the home that they're in now, which is like a little mini mansion. So
Okay.
so the wife didn't want to be bothered with being a landlord, but she would go there maybe once a week and she would use it like an office.
Okay.
So, she was just doing her little thing. Um, this husband and wife team kept very copious notes as to what was going on with the house.
Okay.
They had preventive maintenance systems in place. The HVAC looked like it was brand new, which was a selling point.
Yeah.
And it was well taken care of. The only thing was it was dated. It was just dated. It had good structure, but it was dated. And so let me tell you about the way we came together.
Yeah. I was going to say, what finally urged them to sell and how did you find them?
So it goes back to my Deanwood deal, which was my most
Yeah.
lucrative deal to date. The Deanwood deal, the owner and I actually, the wife and I actually went to grade school together.
Uh-huh.
The owner of the Deanwood property is her uncle.
Okay.
So I did an excellent renovation there, and that was a great project. And I invited the owner and um, this seller now and the seller's mother to come back to the house in Deanwood to see what it looked like after I finished. So they came in and they were awed,
Okay.
in total awe. So that was a good thing. So then the mother of my friend who went to school with me, she is the one who put me together with the first wholesale deal. So that went very well. So my classmate has seen two things that I've touched that worked out very well for the seller. So when they decide to sell this townhome, her husband said, "Well, why don't you get David?" There was no targeted marketing for this whatsoever, other than them seeing the work that I had done.
So
So that's
it
what
was a
happened.
referral. It was inbound referral from previous, because you're developing a reputation now, and that reputation preceded you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So
Hmm.
we met at the house. The wife and I met at the house. We did a walkthrough. I do my property gym walkthrough and take notes and everything to figure out whether I want to buy it. Well, yeah, I would have loved to have bought it because it's in a good area. Um, and it was something that figured I could pick up relatively inexpensively, but I'm working on a couple other projects right now. And so as I told you before, if we were going to be busy doing something else, we would just go ahead and wholesale it. And so I figured this was a wholesale deal. And so made a couple phone calls. I brought the person who did the last wholesale deal with me, brought them over. They took a look at it. They were excited. They ran numbers for a week and a half and they decided not to do it because they were going to put in probably double the amount of renovations that I was going to do. It was a wholesale deal for me, but after he put his numbers in, it wasn't a wholesale deal. I mean, it was a good deal for me, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a good deal for him after he doubled my. renovation budget.
Okay.
So he backed out, and I'm going, okay, so I need to make this make sense. I need to make it make sense. So I'm thinking, trying to figure out what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But because you are Mr. Negotiation, let's go back a step to the negotiation process.
Yeah.
So when I was talking to the owners about what they wanted to do, and I knew they had a mortgage. I'd already done my homework and knew what the ARV was going to be. I knew I had a good spread. Instead of asking them what did they want to put it on the market for, because I wasn't trying to sell it like that. I asked them, what do you want out of it?
Yeah.
What do you want out of it? I know you've sent two boys to Ivy League colleges. You refinanced and got yourself into this beautiful home that they were in. What do you want out? What is going to make you feel good about it? He said, if I can get $30,000 out of it, maybe 30 to $50,000, I think that would be a good range. And I'm going, we should be able to do that. We should be able to do that. Okay. I said it to
Yeah.
myself. I did not say it to him.
Yeah.
But I did take down the notes and he saw me write down 30 to 50. And I said, okay, well, let's see what we can do. So when we brought the first person in, the potential wholesaler, I was looking at,
Potential rehabber buyer. You're the
yes.
wholesaler. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
thank you for correcting that.
Just keeping the
I'll spin that
terminology
around.
straight.
So that potential buyer, we were looking at possibly getting them $70,000 back,
Okay.
and I would have earned about 22,000.
Okay.
And the property was in Prince George's County, and I was going to market it under under $300,000. Only a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it made sense. It was a good deal in Prince George's County to pick up this. It was even a better deal if it was an end buyer.
Yeah.
Well, when the rehabber stepped away, then I sent it out to a couple more rehabbers, and they were kind of slow to respond. So I just changed the total marketing concept and went towards the end buyer.
Okay.
And when the end buyer process started working, all of a sudden I ran a simple Facebook ad. I only put the picture of the front,
Yep.
which it had excellent curb appeal. I ran the Facebook ad, and I know I must have had about 85 or 90 people respond.
Yeah.
Out of all those people, we probably showed it 15 or 20 times.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah, so people came in and they were excited. I had a couple people who were really, really excited, and they just didn't take the next step.
Yeah.
So maybe they were kicking tires. Some people did apply for loan, but they were turned down and so forth, so on. I have a great loan officer that I tie them into. So I knew I could find out whether they were qualified or not within 24 hours or less.
Yeah.
So um, we just looked at a couple different things. I even presented a subject to opportunity to the sellers. Everything that I presented to them, they accepted because I guess I was already vetted, if you will.
Yeah.
Um,
100%. Friend,
yeah,
there's nothing like a referral from a friend or a trusted party.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So every time I'm looking at changing a approach, their monies are going up and up and up. So we got to the point where I had about four people who were talking and talking and talking, but they weren't doing anything to bring pen to paper.
Yeah.
I had a guy come in and he walked through the house. Now I knew something. I figured he was a wholesaler himself, or he was a real estate professional for sure. So he walked through, he came back, and he told me that he needs to get like $30,000 because he has people that he can wholesale it to.
Ah,
And I gave him the price, and he said the price would have to be X. And I said, no, that's not going to work. That's dead on arrival. And so he said, what's your bottom line? So I gave him a bottom line, which I was not going to cross.
right.
And he said, well, I have people, and maybe I can make this a wholesale deal also. So we wound up doing a double wholesale.
There we go.
He didn't get 30, he got three.
Okay. He made
And
3 grand from wholesaling your wholesale.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
fine.
he got 3 and I got 10.
Well, there we go.
The owners got 63.
Well, then you beat the 30 to 50 promise you made.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah,
I didn't make a promise.
right. A
I
target.
I wrote down what they said.
Yeah, fine. Well,
I wrote down what they said, and my job is to get at least 30.
yeah,
Okay, but my real job was to get about 60 or 70, and I was able to accomplish that. So, of course, we went to closing, and everything worked out really good. We walked out together to the elevator, and he gave his wife a hug and a kiss, and he says, "We got it done." And she turned around and said, "No, David got it done."
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so it was a good opportunity, good deal, and it gave me an opportunity to pull out a couple different things out of my hat because again, we were talking wholesaler, we were talking end buyer, we were talking subject to, and then we wound up being a double wholesale, which was all new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Double wholesaler to an end buyer or double wholesale to a rehabber?
a rehabber.
Cool.
Yeah, and the money made sense with that rehabber.
Because he wasn't pushing his budget up as far as your other guy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so the most important thing was the deal that we had written between the two wholesalers. It was that it was a $10,000 non-refundable deposit to be placed in escrow. So that was going to be 10,000 is going to be gone no matter what, because you're
Yeah.
not getting that back. And that's what I use for my quote unquote marketing fee.
Yeah.
So because I'm not a broker. I don't sell real estate
Nope.
every day as such, so I can't claim a commission. So
Nope. It's not a commission at all. It's a
it was a marketing and management fee.
marketing management and assignment fee. Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked out really good. Worked out
So
really
how's
good.
that feel? Get all that done. Specifically when the woman says David got it done, how did you feel?
Oh, that was priceless. Absolutely. It was priceless. And seeing the joy in their faces was priceless also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a text from them that I'm gonna have them change it and send it to me via email.
Yeah.
So it'll be a testimonial.
Have them send you a photo and grab it, and that way you can kind of have it along with the quote.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to use the photo because the excuse me the former seller he's a celebrity.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't want to put his business in the street.
Keep more privacy. That's cool. I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
What yeah, look, I think there's a bunch of things to unpack there. It So many people think investors are wrong, we're evil, we're awful people, we take advantage, we steal, we cheat, we lie. Except these people are thrilled with you and telling you great things and writing great testimonials. And it was pretty generally warm and fuzzy all around. So, how do you describe the difference between the public perception of an investor and then what we actually are?
What we actually are, those are the key questions because we determine that, don't we?
Do we do?
We determine how we present ourselves and the type of work that we do, the how ethical we are, and so forth and so on. So um, I'm very ethical. I think I have a little bit of a personality, and I know what I'm doing. So that those three things help a lot.
Yeah.
This was a learning process, and hopefully I can learn from everything that I do because like I
You
said,
always
I had
have.
never done a double before.
Yeah.
Um, but knowing that they had full confidence in me helped an awful lot, and I knew that I could perform for them.
Yeah, you
That's
know
why.
it. They know
That,
it. No matter what happens, you're going to take care of them. They feel safe. I think that's what's missing a lot of times. People, we need to remember as investors that the people we're dealing with need to feel safe working with us.
Right. Yeah. And so I have the opportunity to have known them and for a long time actually.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I don't think it would have been anything different from anybody else. Now, there was one difference,
What's
Tom.
that?
So when we originally met, we agreed on what was going to happen, but I did not have them sign a contract. We did not sign an agreement.
Okay.
And I told them, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time because if I felt that we could not achieve their 30 to 50,
Yeah.
then I would think it would be better for them to go with someone else.
It's fair.
So it's like giving a little bit and then taking it back.
Yeah.
And so I said, when we find the right opportunity, then we'll go ahead and we'll sign. I have the paperwork to sign then. So they could have signed it right then and there.
Yeah.
But I told them I'd just hold on to it and I kept it in my file. And I had already signed it and dated it. And so when it was time for them to come and sign and date, then we would do that. And we did that back in November.
Okay.
So I originally met with them in June. We came to an agreement in June. We thought we had two or three people who were ready to move, and we weren't sure. And so when it came to the second wholesaler, I started making a couple, requirements. I need the $10,000 non-refundable deposit must be in escrow.
Yeah.
We have to close before the end of the year. Um, um, what else? And, we want to close at the end of the year anyway, right?
Yeah, I
We
know.
don't we
Get it
don't
on the
want to pay
books.
extra taxes on things, so
Yep.
that's always a good thing, closing. So we closed on the 30th of December.
Nice.
Um, and I would make sure that I knew when they were going in and out the house when they wanted to go and look at things. So I just didn't because they still had some personal belongings in the property.
Gotcha.
So it was being sold as is, but at the last second they asked us to empty the house. So we emptied the
Okay.
house.
That's
That's an
fine.
easy one.
Yeah.
That's not a big ask.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah. Now there was a some water damage in the living room ceiling.
Okay.
Well, see, I have skills, so I went ahead and took care of that.
Oh, good. Clean it up for the rehab.
Yeah, yeah. And then whenever we brought somebody in to take a look at it, first thing we would do is sit down at the kitchen table for about 5 minutes, and I could tell them what they were about to see.
Okay.
Because a lot of people will come to look at a property and they think it's going to be bells and whistles, and it wasn't that type of property. It needed to be painted. It needed some mud work done. It needed new flooring, stuff like that.
Now,
What
negotiation, we would call that pre-framing. You sat somebody down and literally painted the picture. You pre-framed what are they looking at, which is all, if you think about it, it's very revealing and it's certainly not hiding anything when you point things out in advance. Then they can't come back and say, "Oh, you didn't tell me about that hole in the ceiling, or you didn't tell me about that broken window or the tree growing through the roof." It's no, yes, you did. It's all there, and then it establishes a nice level of trust. It also helps you back up your price in the negotiation because you've already fully disclosed everything.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
We we had we had a couple people come in that were looking to buy something, but they were tight on their budget.
Yeah.
And I said, well, this may be an opportunity for you because you have an opportunity to buy a house and you can get it fixed up with bells and whistles all taken care of before you move in.
Yeah.
Or you can do the painting and all that, but the carpets were in great shape. They were just um, green.
Gotcha.
So I said, you can actually have the carpets shampooed. And when you're ready to change them over then.
Yeah. Clean them
All
up
the
first, change them
appliances in the
out later.
kitchen, yeah, all the appliances in the kitchen were in great condition, but they were dated.
Yeah.
Change them over when you want to. So I give them a lot of options to think about, and um, some people were interested, some people weren't, some people just moved too slow, some people who tried to move just weren't ready.
Yeah,
So the great thing is that I have all their names and numbers, and for those who weren't ready, I'll put them in contact with somebody to help them get ready.
yeah,
So they'll be prepared for the next ones coming up.
yes. Well, and that helps you, it helps you market. Because if you have a list of people that you know are ready for something and you
Mhm.
know what they want, it makes it a lot easier to go shopping for something when you know what you're after. You're not just window shopping or wandering through the mall aimlessly. You're there with a particular mission. You can literally go dig up exactly what somebody wants,
Mhm.
prep the deal, and sell it to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's
Sounds
the
like you're
that's the
making a
whole
good
reason.
plan.
Just
Yeah.
because you weren't on this opportunity, you may be on the next one or the one after that.
Yeah.
That's
There's
like that's
never
like
a
the
bridge
cheat
worth
list.
burning.
That's the cheater list. That's the short list that I can start there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, very nice.
Mhm.
Now, this was your second wholesale deal, but how many deals have you done overall in your investing career?
I don't maybe 20,
Yeah, awesome.
maybe 20. Most of them I've already liquidated. I still have a couple. I have a big house that I've been working on for a couple of years now, actually.
Okay.
And I'm not so sure that I'm going to get the money I need to get out of that. So I may turn that into a business.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So you
maybe.
do a combination. You've done these two wholesales, you do a lot of rehabbing, and you have some buy and hold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, this is a loaded question because obviously the exit strategy is different. What's different about each deal? You have to market for it and you have to negotiate it, correct? Is there any other real difference between the different types of deals?
It's really a matter of what I come across, when I come across it, and where we are right now in terms of is that going to be something that's going to work for us?
Yeah,
Because that's how we got started in wholesaling, which was an opportunity that I really wanted to do, but I just didn't have time to do it.
yeah.
I didn't have time, so I said, well, I can wholesale it because
Don't let it go.
yeah, as I told you before, I would have normally walked away from it.
Yeah,
But well, don't walk away, you can wholesale it.
yeah. If it was a good deal for you, it'll be a good deal for another investor. You just have to now wholesale it over to them. I don't let deals go. Even if you're mostly a rehabber and mostly a landlord, there is still an opportunity. Something is going to come along where it's not the right deal for you, or it's not the right location, or it's not the right time. But that's for you. That doesn't mean for somebody else. So put it under contract and make some money because that helps your seller in the end of the day as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like
And,
that.
and I think the key to this whole wholesale deal, beyond me being vetted already with them, was the question that was asked. And the question was, what do you want out of the deal
Yeah.
versus trying to negotiate with them as to what we should market it at?
Yes. Well, I think, when someone says to you, what do you want out of it? And your focus is on them and their benefit and their goals, it's a lot easier to want to say yes to somebody because they weren't taking from, like you weren't taking from them. It was, what do you want me to give you in return for, moving that property?
Mhm.
And they can give you that answer, and then can you achieve that or not? Can you achieve that and still make money as an investor or not? And if the answer was no, then you wouldn't have done it or you would have had to renegotiate with them. But they give you that base level to begin with. It makes everything so much easier. It gets people to yes a lot quicker than just trying to attack them or hard sell. The hard sell doesn't work. Hard selling is not negotiating. Negotiation is what you did, frame it up, take care of them, and then gracefully move towards a win-win solution that works for everyone. I know that sounds hokey. It sounds corny, but that's what happened.
That's
You,
what
you
happened.
you let them win and they let you win.
Yeah, that's what happened. They never asked me what was my fee.
Hmm?
Not one time did they ask me what was my fee. They never asked what is it under contract for with the new buyer. Um, I told them that you are going to be right in this range, within $1,000 or so.
Mhm.
And then they gave us the HUD ones late. We got
No
the HUD,
surprise.
yeah, we're supposed to get what, 48 hours or so in advance.
Eh.
We got we
It
got the
never
HUD
happens.
ones, we got the HUD ones the morning of.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through the HUD one and I'm going, oh, wait a second. I know in my contract it said that the buyer is paying all closing costs.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. Their money was their money.
Ah,
They didn't have to, except for water escrow of $300. They didn't
yep.
have to wait for anything or pay for anything. That was all done by the buyer. And so um, they had it on the wrong side. And so I had that corrected. And I was doing it on the phone, and they said, David, would you come to closing with us? I said, okay. So
Sure.
I got dressed and ran over to Rockville to meet them. And when I walked in the door, I got there before they did. And I explained to the guy, I said, look, on such and such page of the original contract, it says the buyer pays all closing. They said, we apologize. We'll get that corrected. And they got it corrected. So their money went up.
Good.
Yeah. So I went up
Yeah, so
about
many people
$1,000.
they do it on assumption. The settlement companies, they just kind of, oh, this is the way they always do it. No, no, you have to look and read. I mean, a contract at the end of the day is a set of instructions between two parties to tell the settlement company how to actually arrange it, what you agreed on. If that's what you agreed on, they got to do it. First, one, Dave, I don't think I've ever gotten a settlement sheet on time. It's my running pet peeve that settlement companies seem to love to do things at the last minute. You're getting the HUD one or the Alta settlement sheet the morning of. Drives me absolutely mad. I've told many a settlement company that I will bring you my business if you will give me a settlement sheet 3 days in advance, which I know is almost impossible for them to do, but if they even try, it's better than nothing. The first thing I do when I look at it is, first of all, I make sure it's selfish, but I make sure my assignment fee is on there if I'm wholesaling, because that's almost always missing. And then the
Uh-huh.
other thing is exactly what you did. Check to make sure the right things are on the right side. So if the right things are being paid for by the right people as agreed. Because if it wasn't this case, if you had the seller, the buyer paying all the fees instead of the seller, they don't always get that. Sometimes they just split them naturally, or there's all this other nonsense. They seem to be creatures of habit who also operate at the very last minute, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Well, I think you said at some point during a wholesale process, you need to be with them from the beginning to the end.
Yeah,
And so, we talked about everything. I laid it all out in front of them. Everything was on the table um, that they needed to know. And I did my work. When something was looking good, I let them know we have a possibility here. I'm not exactly sure. I don't like counting things until the money is in. But I
yeah,
can give you an update as to where,
yeah.
where things are how they're looking. So they got updates constantly. I met with them one or two times at their home, and we sat down and we talked about things. When we did the final paperwork, I went to their home and we did that. So we got all that done there. But then when they asked me if I would come to the closing, I said, sure.
Sure.
I was there. I was able to take care of that last minute issue.
Yes.
And and all that was appreciated
Yes.
because
Good customer service.
that was a
It's never
four thousand
really a
dollar
problem
error.
to show up for payday, is it?
I'm sorry, say it again.
It's never really a problem to show up for payday.
No, but this it was kind of strange because we were having everything wired in,
Yeah.
and the money from the seller was in place supposedly before we got there. The for the buyer, I should say, was in place. The sellers, they signed first, and the buyers came in about an hour later.
Okay.
And we were expecting the wires that day, but we didn't get them that day. We got them New Year's Eve about 7 p.m. And we weren't happy right at that point.
No.
We weren't happy at that point. So,
Well, particularly if the paperwork's already done and everyone's signed for, there's
and the
a,
keys were turned over and everything
oh
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a slight cart before the horse scenario.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Mm.
um, yeah. And then I got a phone call that what on the 2nd of January, and my wholesaler said the buyer's looking for the lockbox with the keys. And I said, well, the lockbox is gone. The keys were turned over at settlement. All the
Yeah.
keys were turned over at settlement. So if they went in to sign, then they would have the keys. If they did DocuSign, then the settlement office has the keys. But they have the keys. We don't have the keys. So, but
Mm.
everything went good except for that little hiccup with the HUD one and the money being placed in the through the wire in the bank.
Okay.
Other than that, everything went very smooth.
You know what a wholesaler gets paid for?
I'm listening.
Your customer service and you're dealing with the little conflicts that come up like this. You're dotting your I's and crossing your T's and watching that process to make sure it goes down right.
Mhm.
So, when you show up and they ask you to show up because they're more comfortable, but it also pays off because you see things that other people didn't see. Because no one cares about you and your profit as much as you do, and no one cares about taking care of them as much as, well, a combination of them and you, because otherwise, who does?
Yeah, my
It's not
original,
it's not people involved. So when you've got that kind of skin in the game, then it clarifies everything for people, and that's what makes it happen.
yeah. Well, my original goal for the wholesale fee was 22,000,
Okay.
and I took 10
Yeah.
because if I had generated what it was $26,000 more, which was what I was going after,
Yeah.
then I would have taken the 22. But because I went down to my bottom, I only went with 10. And I made sure they got more than they expected, which was 60
Yes.
versus 50. But
Yes.
that 10 could have gone towards my 22.
Yeah.
But that's not where I wanted to do. I didn't want to go in that direction.
I'm guessing it's going to come back around at some point and extra referrals and whatnot. I mean, are you upset at a $10,000 wholesale fee?
No,
No.
not at all.
For
Not at
how many
all.
hours total did you spend on it?
Oh, this was more intense than the last one. The last one was only 6 hours.
Okay.
This one I did multiple showings.
Yeah.
I actually did a little bit of hands-on work, and I got that back as well from closing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I'm not exactly sure. Probably it's probably about 30 hours of work.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's still not a bad
No, it's still
return.
not bad per hour. That's
Right,
that's
right.
good business.
Yeah, absolutely. And the owner has another property that his family owns that they may try to liquidate probably in the next year or two. So he already has me on standby. He says, "I want you to handle this one too." So
It's not bad. Three deals from effectively the same source.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you overperformed this time. And if you wind up with more of a spread next time, no one's going to bat an eyelash or complain.
yeah, yeah.
The seller wasn't worried about what you made. Well, oh, wait a minute. Your buyer wasn't worried, were they? They didn't mind that there's an assignment fee on it, that there's a wholesale fee, did they?
No, because the buyer was dealing with the other wholesaler,
Hmm.
and the $10,000 um, non-refundable earnest money deposit was just that. And I don't think, I mean, he was buying a contract for $10,000 and for well $13,000 less than he was paying up front for the whole thing. And he was well below 300,000, so it was a good deal. It was a good deal.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the other thing. People that haven't done it before have a hard time believing. Like, well, why would anyone pay you? Well, because there's also, when I said your role to the seller, your responsibility and your role is customer service. Well, it's also to your buyer,
Mhm.
because you're serving them up a deal, a rehab deal in this case,
Mhm.
on a silver platter. They don't have
Mhm.
to do the marketing. They don't have to do the negotiation. You got all that done, and that's what they're paying you for. Because now they get to do what they like to do best, which is rehab properties. They go straight in. They don't have to do with the part they generally hate, which is finding it, the marketing, making the deal, the negotiating. They get to start swinging hammers as soon as they're ready. And that
Right.
there's customer service in that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe in excellent customer service. So if I believe in it for other people, I need to believe in it for myself. So that's what I'm going to try to
Yes.
deliver. Yeah, absolutely. It was fun. It was fun. It was a nice property, and they were exceptional owners because they had the receipts for everything, warranties for everything. Matter of fact, at the closing table, he just turned over a book to the closing agent and said everything is in here. From a warranty standpoint, they had new siding. He gave him the warranty for the new siding for the roof. The information, for not only the warranty for the HVAC, but the vendors who they use. So if it was going to an end buyer, it would be awesome. Absolutely awesome because they would know everything about it, what needs to be done, or who to contact, who to talk to. Going to a rehabber where the rehab is probably going to tear up stuff and do their own thing. So but I mean, it helps them too if they choose to use it.
Yeah, but the things that stay could pass through as well. And if that rehab is smart when he resells it finally to a retail buyer, they should make sure they call in on any. Sometimes the warranties need to be officially transferred to be valid
Right.
for like the air conditioning compressors or the furnace. Sometimes you've got to call it in and say there's a new owner. If they're smart, they'll do that, and that
Yeah.
takes care of their ultimate end buyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very cool.
Yeah.
So let's see. Bunch of deals over the years. Uh, I've been working with you for a number of years. I was trying to look up when you first came into my world. I think it was 2017. You started with my main workshop, and I guess that's worked out pretty well for you, huh?
It has, but I've been with Traction since you were, I think, about a year before you became president.
Oh yes. Okay, fine.
Yeah. And that was all because I wanted to do this real estate thing and I was having problems trying to figure out how to get money. So I figured let me go talk to some people who know how to get money.
Yeah, yeah. And it's worked out well, huh?
Yes,
Good. What kind
absolutely.
of like in terms of the networking, the community, the support you get from Traction, and talk me through that. How has that made you into the success that you are today?
Well, Traction has introduced me to a lot of different niches that, I could follow. So when I would go to a seminar, a weekend seminar, or, just a meeting, and the speakers would come in, and I'm taking very copious notes because I want to know what everybody else knows, and I know I'm not going to be able to do it all, but when the opportunity presents itself, and you can't figure out what to do, that's because you haven't been around enough to find out what the possibilities are, which is one of the reasons why I got myself into my first wholesale deal because I was about to walk away from it and I didn't want to, but what could I do? And so after I asked the question, what could I do? It's wholesale. Same thing with this second wholesale. That's the reason why I did that. So being around the people that are at Traction, especially those who are, moving and shaking, you can pick up little nuggets here and there. You don't have to, you don't have to win every time you go to a meeting. You just have to pick up a little nugget and then know where to put it. Or another way of saying it, you pick up a puzzle piece and you got to find exactly where that puzzle piece goes. And if you can identify where that puzzle piece goes, then it starts to make more sense for you. And if it makes more sense for you, then you have an opportunity to monetize it. And that's the game. We got to monetize it. And then I love
All
what I
those,
do. So
yeah, well, yeah, all those little pieces add up over time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And the old saying, being around like-minded people, that always helps.
yeah. Yeah. So if you were rewind, just getting started, if you were talking to somebody that was like you 10 plus years ago, frustrated, looking, missing a piece here and there, not sure what to do, what do you tell them now? How do they get moving and accelerate?
Well, I talk to people like that all the time, actually.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, and so I'll find out, do you have money, or if you don't have money? If you don't have money, start by wholesaling. Okay. And build a buyer's list. And that's usually where everybody stops. They don't try to build a buyer's list. So even if a property came along the way, they wouldn't know what to do with it because they don't have a buyer's list to help them with. But more importantly than that is to find somebody that you trust that can mentor you through the process. And so I have two or three mentees now
Yep.
that will call me, ask me questions, come check on me on while I'm doing a property. I had one person come over and learn how to do ceramic tile flooring. So, so
Yeah.
I'm an open book, and I'll allow folks to ask me whatever they want to ask me to get their answers.
Yeah.
But I had to be perfect. I had to have everything figured out before I could take my step. And a lot of people are in that area. So that's why I tell them, try to find somebody who you believe in, that you trust, that is doing something like that you want to do. Then that way you have an opportunity. When an opportunity comes to you, you can then go to them and allow them to instruct you on what to do
Yeah.
and have some type of confidence that it'll work. Because it's one piece of advice I share with people and they don't believe it. If you have a great deal, you'll find the money. You can find the money if you have a great deal. And they don't trust that. And I understand. I wouldn't have trusted it either. But that's the truth that I've found over the years. When I have a great deal, I pick up the phone and make a couple phone calls, and the money can come from maybe one place or a couple places. So,
Yeah.
and actually, it's funny because the house that we did in Louisiana, my wife actually found some of the money for that. And she said, I have some help for you. I said, help? She says, yeah, I have $15,000 to add to the rehab because we had a $25,000 rehab budget. And at the last second, the person who was going to fund that rehab budget said that he could only come up with $10,000. And I'm in Louisiana getting ready to get started. And I'm going, huh? What? And so now I'm $15,000 short, but I'm going to work like I'm, fully funded and try to get what I can get done. And then all of a sudden she called me and said, if you check the account, $15,000 more is in the account. So now I have to talk to her about the negotiation process
Yeah.
for that 15,000, but it was there. Yeah,
We work on the refinements later. They got the job done at the time.
that's right. Right. You don't have
Yeah.
to you don't have to understand it all right now, but we got to understand what is an opportunity and who do you trust enough to allow them to guide you through the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Get out there and find a good deal, and then the rest, you'll be able to cross the other bridges because the rest of the pieces is going to come into place, particularly if you have guidance and someone to lean on. But you've got to start by finding it.
Yeah. I said when we did the podcast, I said a lot of people are worrying about, you know, having two mortgages or not having the correct paperwork done. And I said, well, what difference does it make? You don't have a deal, so it doesn't make any difference what you're worried about because you don't have a deal. You have to worry about that when you have a deal.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is trying to get that person that can mentor you through the process because they can help you, make sure you have a good deal. They can help you make sure you don't over renovate because
Yeah.
people will do that a lot, or don't
Yep.
under renovate either. Yeah, that happens a lot. So do what needs to be done and sell your property, get paid, and move on.
Nothing wrong with that. I think the thing is, there's a particular personality type, David. If a lot of people identify with being a little bit of a perfectionist, or I want to be able to see absolutely everything first. I got to see my way clearly all the way to the end, except that holds you back because sometimes you're not going to see to the end, and you can't have everything perfect first because that's just not the way the world works. So perfectionists need to go, all right, as long as I can get the next step in front of me, I'll take it. Then you'll figure out what that next step is after that. Then you take it, and you're going to have to advance without being able to see absolutely everything clearly. Otherwise, you're never going to move, and you're never going to advance. You're never going to make anything happen. You're going to continue to stay stuck. So done becomes the enemy of perfect.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You
It's
know,
admittedly a tough pill to swallow for people, but that's the pill you got to swallow.
yeah, fear, it's a fear.
Yeah.
Um, the fear of failure. My fear was the fear of succeeding, but the fear of failure is very strong. And if somebody's worried about the fear of failure, then taking that next step, they have to make sure that next step is qualified from the right and from the left and the front and the back, underneath and on top. And so it's a lot of extra work being a perfectionist, a lot of extra work. You can fool around and mess up and fix it by the time you figure it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get over it? I mean, the fear of success, the fear of failure, in some ways, I mean, they're two sides of that same coin. How did you get over it?
Um, well, I did it based on the situation that I had with my daughter in college. She was about to go to college and I wasn't ready to send her.
Okay.
And so I wound up buying a property back way back in the day when they had no money down deals. I
Yeah.
think I put a $10 down deal,
Okay.
and that $10 turned into I think it was $46,000 profit for me over a year. And that was my second deal, my first rehab.
Yeah.
Um, and that, I didn't have a choice. I had to step off the cliff and you either go splat or you fly. So,
Yes.
so I flapped my wings real hard and I was able to fly. And, you learn a lot when you put your hands on things. I don't think that's probably the best way to go all the time. I probably have my hands on things more than I need to be. But when you actually touch it and you figure out how it works, you can price it and all that type of stuff. That makes a huge difference. And then you know what quality works looks like, and you know what crap looks like.
Yeah.
So, and then it's all about finding the right contractors if you go out and hire. So, and that's a whole different game
That's
because
part of the
we
business.
all have challenges with contractors.
I don't know anyone that doesn't.
Hmm.
That's the thing. But my contractor has challenges with his subcontractors. My
Right.
other contractor just is a challenge to me. It's always something.
Yeah.
That's part of that end of the business.
Yeah. I came across a really good contractor, and then I realized what he was trying to do is make his year's worth of profit on me on one deal.
Yeah.
So, you have to watch out for that. I had this saying that I used to say when I was doing contracting work, and I said, if the guy shows up in a really, really nice truck, you're paying for the truck, okay?
Yeah, I got you.
So it was funny. I just sold my F-250 and I bought a F-150, and I think my truck is really cute. So one of my clients said, "Oh, we gotta watch out for you now, huh?"
You got a fancy new truck with
Yeah,
no dents on it. I don't
right,
know.
right. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Got me with my own words.
Well, it happens.
Yeah. But Traction has been a wealth of information for a multitude of topics, all under the umbrella of real estate. I've learned a lot through Traction. You and Carolina have been awesome. Um, Claude has been just awesome in that when I seek to get comps, I normally go to Claude.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, he gave me comps for this deal. He gave me comps for the last deal. And matter of fact, he gave me comps for the Deanwood deal, which made me really fall in love with Claude then because I was going to price it about $100,000 less than I got.
Okay. Yeah.
So Claude's my best friend.
That worked out well. Yeah.
He and I actually went to see a potential client who had death in the family,
Mhm.
and it was the lady now is the mother of the deceased, and her husband was a good friend of mine,
Okay.
and they live in a high-rise condo in Arlington.
Okay.
And I said, Chloe, come and go with me because going with me, I'm going to do my thing, but you're a realtor and he's already given me comps and the reasons why and all that stuff. But if for some chance it's not something that's for me, then he could pick it right up because when he went in with me, he has been introduced from me, and I was referred to them from somebody else. So and that's a good thing all by itself, getting referrals.
Yeah.
My name is out there to a couple people and they're using it. So that's a good thing also.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, no, it's good. You put that community together. We've always tried to make Traction a spot where you can meet other people at various points on the same journey. Some have been to the destination multiple times. Some have never left their own front door, but they want to get to that destination. And you find everyone in between and the support structure to go with it, which is the whole point of a community and the whole point of a networking group is to be able
Right.
to build those elements up faster with people that you can actually get some FaceTime with, whether that be live in person or face to face on Zoom. You get it, but you know who you connect with and connect with them. When it clicks, and then they become a solid part of your team, like Claude has for you.
Right. Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, he's one in a million. Um,
Yeah,
and he's a giver. And when people are willing to give of their time to people who are starting out and continue as they mature in the process, that's an awesome thing by itself.
yeah, yeah. Well, it comes back around.
Yeah.
I think when people are closed off too much, yeah, you repel, and then nothing comes back around because you didn't take that kind of first round, but you take a little, give a little, take a little, and it builds up.
Hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like with your most recent seller. I mean, you got them even more than they asked for, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know who to go to get a loan.
It's true too. There's no reason. I mean, they trust you enough. They've become a private lender now. So that,
Yeah,
I mean, literally
maybe.
all coming full circle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
And a lot of people wouldn't even think of that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Turn your sellers into private lenders? Well, yeah, they know you, they like you, they trust you, they did business with you. And now in this case, they're kind of multiple times. They're
Mm.
already lining up the next deal for you. Why not go and say, hey, I've got this other deal that I need 10 grand, 20 grand, 25 grand for. Lend me, and this is the return you'll get.
Hmm.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all. You don't need everybody on earth. You need your people in your circle, in your area, and you can get rich in that niche, in that smaller circle. It doesn't have to be a big, massive worldwide thing.
Right.
Mm,
No, I
not
agree.
bad.
I agree. It only takes
Yeah.
a couple people who believe in the process or believe in the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One way or the other. That's awesome, David. Any other words of wisdom?
Oh, I don't know about words of wisdom. I just, we go outside and opportunity falls in front of us and we react to it.
Yeah.
You either react to it by doing something or you react to it by not doing something. So it's one of two ways. You're going to go north or you're going to go south. So I'll just
There's a
choose.
lot of people sitting on the sidelines. You've seen them over the years. They're sitting on the sidelines looking at you going, well, isn't that lucky? Oh, David's a winner. Oh, he won again. Well, that's, you know why? Honestly, because you were prepared to lose.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to play the game. And it's not like every week in a football game, both sides have a plan to win, but only one side does. But
right,
the loser, if you run home and never do it again, you're going to be a permanent loser. Honestly, you get back out there and do it again, you'll win more and more often. You can't you're not going to win by quitting, and you're not going to win by never getting in the game. You got to get on the
right,
field and play.
right, right. Yeah. Yeah, we have to take a step, and sometimes it's on faith.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we just have to step out there, um, and take some type of action. May not be the right action. You may screw it up. The good thing is you still have people that you can go to figure out the screw up.
Yes.
And so the Traction family offers that. If I have a serious question about something I may have done wrong, I may send you an email and ask you a question. And I've done that before.
Correct.
Or I may ask Claude something, or I may ask one of the other investors, real estate investors, what would you do in this situation?
Yes.
And, you ask a person, you're most likely going to get a different response. And sometimes those responses are similar. And so when they're similar, that's the right way to go.
Yeah. You start to see the patterns.
Yeah.
And sometimes just you being able to ask the question, the mental work it takes inside of your head to formulate the question starts the process of you figuring it out. And then as you're hearing the answer and dealing with the answer, you develop a lot of it as well. Like I tend to be an external processor, so I'll ask a lot of questions because that helps me refine what I'm thinking. And as I'm listening to the person's answer, whether or not I agree with it, I can go, this is why I agree with it. This is why I disagree with it. Either way, it's actually moving me closer to the answer I need because of the fact that I'm there thinking through the issue and asking the right questions.
Yeah. Yes, I understand.
It's one of the trickier things I get students to do. I say, we've got to work on getting the questions right and being clear and concise and quick with the questions. Because sometimes if you're convoluted and can't come up with the question, you don't actually understand what the problem is. So I,
Hmm.
I try to help people get really good at let's quickly formulate what the question is and ask what's going to move you ahead. I don't need all the details. I only need the salient points for right now. What's going to get you across the gap that you're at?
Yeah, the first hurdle.
Yeah, the first hurdle is what matters.
Let me get past the first hurdle and then we'll figure out the second one.
Yep, that's it. Hey,
Yeah.
there's a second one, there's a third one, there's a
Oh,
fourth
yeah.
one. That's life. But who cares about the other hurdles if you're going to sit there and stare at the first and never jump?
Which goes back to what I said earlier, which was you worry about all the problems that you may have,
Yeah,
but if you don't have a deal, it doesn't really make a difference.
yeah,
So if you have a deal, okay, now get into the game, screw it up. Okay, that's fine. But as long as you're humble, you can screw up, actually. Most
yes.
most sellers will allow you to screw up if you're humble about things and you're able to correct it.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, I mean, for example, when I spoke to these sellers, remember I went to them and initially it was going to be a wholesale deal. Then it turned to subject to, then it turned to end buyer, wound
Yep.
up a wholesale deal. When it changed from the first engagement to subject to, I had to explain what subject to was. And what I was telling them was we had an opportunity going one direction. We have another opportunity going a second direction, but we're going to talk about a third direction that most people don't even know about. And I told them about subject to. And I said, if we could get somebody to buy at a certain price, okay, and if we could get A, B, and C, would you be willing to do the things and I listed what they would have to do in a subject to deal, which, still the mortgage would be still in their name. They would have to give up their Social Security information, their Social Security number, or at least the last four digits, because when they talk to the lender, they have to be able to get through, and you won't get through unless you have the last four of the Social Security. Well, I think you may need to, I'm not sure, maybe you need to have the whole Social Security number. And that's private information. Well, it used to be private. I don't know how private it is now. But But that's information that a lot of people wouldn't want to divulge. And so you have to explain those things. And if they get online with you, then you know that they have more trust in you to do what you do because they've never heard of that subject to thing. And some type of way, they think I seem to know what I'm talking about because I broached the subject. One, two, I went ahead and I went ahead and explained it to them. And plus, they've seen signs out where it says, take over your payments, those type of things. And that's what those are, subject twos. So we have an opportunity to do some things, but we have to be able to explain it and explain it in a way that it's not being not it can't be condescending. You can't be arrogant. You have to be humble and informed. So humble and informed would be the two things I would use. Not arrogance or you just can't be condescending to anyone because that just doesn't work.
Be real, be approachable, be knowledgeable, answer the questions. Yeah. Yep. That I think that to me sums up the difference between high pressure sales and negotiation. A good negotiator is humble and listens and responds, and the high pressure salesman just pushes, and runs roughshod over you.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
And this deal was no stress at all, except the last day and a half, which was the HUD ones and the wire being late. Other than that, there was no stress involved with it at all. So
Okay, so that proves Tom Zeeb's theory number 37, which is there's always drama in every deal. It comes early or it comes late. So the fact that there was no drama and it was going
it's
really
there.
smooth, that drives me nuts, man. Because I know I'm like, oh crap, the drama is going to come right up at the end, which is what happened to you. But
Yeah,
you manage it and you get through
yeah, yeah.
it. There's
You gotta be able,
always something.
gotta be able to manage it. If you can't manage it, you gotta figure out somebody else that needs to manage it for you or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, we get paid to deal with the conflicts that come up on deals.
Yeah,
And they come up early or they come up late, but they always come up. So yeah, it was good. Nothing wrong with smooth sailing.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
David Hayes, congratulations, buddy. That's awesome. Super happy to hear
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
it.